What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I am going to show you all those maps that are not coming with update 1.0. We are going to receive a lot of new maps or a lot of old maps reworked into the new HD quality together with one new map called Glacier. But at the same time there are a lot of maps that are not coming with update 1.0's release. Update 1.0 should be live already. I am not at home at the moment, I cannot check, but it should be live, and I am not saying that those maps which you are going to see in today's episode were completely removed from this game. They simply didn't make it into the update 1.0. Wargaming is still working on reworking a lot of those maps into the HD quality, but maybe some of those maps were completely removed from the game as well. At the moment I do not have information about completely removed maps, but this is the list that you are not able to see in update 1.0 that are not in the rotation anymore. So without further ado, let's get going. And on the background you can see first map already, called Highway. This map was one of the most hated maps for a lot of players in the community, and it has actually been in a lot of drama as well, you know, with all that Foshgate action. Well, who knows, they know what happened on Highway. But for me personally, this map was not one of my favorite maps as well. The only vehicle class that I actually liked to play on Highway was light tank vehicle class, because it was fairly easy to get a lot of assistance and high spotting damage games, because how open this map was, a lot of snipers and a lot of camping. Plus many battles ended super quickly when one team decided to cap. It was super cap heavy map, so me personally I'm not super sad. Moving on into the next map, this is called KHARKOV. KHARKOV streets have to wait a little bit more for new vehicles. At the moment this map has been removed from the rotation, no HD model ready yet, but I have seen and I have actually shared with you some prototype versions of new KHARKOV. North side has been changed, different versions. This middle area that you are seeing at the moment was completely blocked with houses, so we were not able to get into those middle houses anymore. So yeah, some tuning here and there, maybe it makes this map a little bit better. At the moment I actually do not mind it with heavy tanks, with medium tanks. For light tanks for sure this is not my favorite map. For tank destroyers, so well, depends which tank destroyer I'm playing with. With my E4 I like it, with my 183 I like it, but with turretless tank destroyers not so much once again. And in one of the prototype versions I remember this side of the map, this corner was completely blocked off with different barricades. So KHARKOV at the moment not in the rotation anymore. Moving on into the next map, which is PILSEN, which is also not HD ready yet. And if I remember correctly, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of our newest maps in this game, and it was added before Paris. I think so, at least. We didn't receive anything in the middle of Pilsen and Paris. But Pilsen was known, at least for me, for many one-sided battles. When one team won in this industrial area with heavy tanks, for example, then GG. And when one team won with medium tanks, then GG once again, because if you won one side of the map, you were easily able to flank the other side and all the enemy vehicles were cornered in and dead. This is what usually happens on Pilsen. Many times it comes down to who has better heavy tanks or better heavy tank drivers, and that is it. So Pilsen not in the rotation anymore. Next up, let's talk about one of the Grand Battles map. WINTERBERG has been reworked into the HD quality, so we are still able to enjoy Grand Battle mode after update 1.0 is going to be released. But Klondike, our second Grand Battles map, is not in HD quality and is not coming with update 1.0. But I am almost 100% sure, or maybe 100% sure, that this map is going to be reworked into the HD quality as well, and it is going to be in the game soon after 1.0, because Wargaming just something like a couple months ago or maybe half a year ago released this map for Grand Battle mode, and Grand Battle mode desperately needs some more maps, so Klondike not in 1.0, but it should come back. Next up we have one tier limited map called MITTENGARD. I think it was limited up to tier 3, but MITTENGARD, I think this map is one of the smallest maps as well, if not the smallest map in this game. Like if you were playing with your lower tier vehicles and if you had binoculars activated, you were able to spot the entire enemy team without moving an inch. This is how small this map was, and this is how ridiculous this map was, but it was super wacky and action-packed. I really loved to play on MITTENGARD with my lower tier vehicles. You were always in action, non-stop action, because all the action happened in the middle. So yeah, MITTENGARD not coming with update 1.0. Next up we have one of the maps that I'm actually super sad about, Sacred Valley. For some reason I enjoyed playing on Sacred Valley, with my light tanks, with my medium tanks, heavy tank and some tank destroyers as well. I know that this map was not everyone's favorite map, but for me, for some reason, I really did like it, so I am quite sad. Sacred Valley has seen so many reworks that I cannot even count all of them, at least 5. I can remember or I can think about at least 5 reworks. So if it is coming back in the HD quality, it is going to be reworked once again. And I think it has a lot of potential to look stunning in the new HD quality. So Sacred Valley, maybe coming back, maybe not. We have to wait and see. But for now, not in the rotation anymore. Next up, Stalingrad. I remember that at first I really liked to play on this map, but not so much anymore, so I am not sad about Stalingrad. No information if it is coming back, I haven't heard anything, I haven't seen any prototypes about new reworks Stalingrad, but they most definitely have to do something over here. They have to tune it drastically. It is weird, to say the least, to play on Stalingrad. I do not dig it, and I know a lot of you guys do not dig it as well, so hopefully Wargaming is looking into it. Next up, good old Swamp, yet another map that has seen a lot of different reworks. But at the moment I think, after a couple batches, when people actually figured out how to play on this map, it is in the worst state. Whenever I start from the north base, I am winning around 80 to 85% of my battles. Because if I make my way into the middle, where we are at the moment, I am able to outspot, to counterspot all the enemy light tanks, all the enemy tank destroyers, while my snipers are dealing a lot of damage. And whenever I start from the south side, I simply pray that nobody on the enemy team knows how to play on this map when they start from the north side, so we can have a chance at least. At the moment this map is not balanced, in my opinion at least, and if it finds its way back into the game, hopefully after a lot of rework. Next up we have something, or we do not have something anymore, for lower tiers. I think this map was capped up to tier 6 and it was called WIDEPARK. Not much to say about this map, a lot of action happened in the middle, heavy tanks were over here under this bridge fighting versus each other, and in the middle enemy light tanks were fighting with light tanks and medium tanks with medium tanks, and it came down to who had better snapshotting abilities. Who was able to take better snapshots and so on. So WIDEPARK has been closed, no tickets anymore for now. Moving on to the WINDSTORM. This is yet another map that I am a little bit sad. At first I didn't like it, but when I found out a couple really awesome strategies for my medium tanks, for my light tanks, then I actually quite enjoyed playing on WINDSTORM, and it is like no other map in the game. At the moment at least. It was different. It had everything going on with it. City area, heavy tank fighting area, medium tank fighting area, a lot of room to maneuver with my light tanks, and I love to play with light tanks and the faster medium tanks as well, so for me this was quite enjoyable map, but of course you need good strategies, good battle plan to enjoy this map to the max, and once again I think it has epic potential to look stunning in the new HD quality. So WINDSTORM not in the rotation. Next up, I have 3 different maps that you are not able to see anymore in the rotation, but we have regular versions of all those maps. First map is Winter HIMMELSTORM, followed by WINTERBERG, and after that Fiery SALIENT. But we have Runeberg, we have regular HIMMELSTORM in the rotation, and we have Prokhorovka as well. Fiery Salient was just the fancy Prokhorovka version, and I think Runeberg on fire is not a thing as well. So we had Runeberg, we had WINTERBERG, and we had Runeberg on fire at one point. So 3 different versions of Runeberg, but at the moment we get one Runeberg version, and same goes to the HIMMELSTORM, of course. I have to say I really like how new HIMMELSTORM looks like. I love the background with some ship action going on over there with some battleships and so on, and new Runeberg, a lot more colors. We actually have some flowers over there, but Prokhorovka, this is pretty much the same, just fancy borders, fancy background, but gameplay is going to be almost exactly the same. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was my episode for you today, featuring maps that are not in the update 1.0 at the moment. I did not say that those maps were removed from the game, and most likely Wargaming is working on a lot of those maps. Which maps are completely removed, I do not know, sadly. Maybe some of those maps were completely removed from the game. If I have any information, I am going to let you know as always. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, thumbs up button is for that. If you didn't, thumbs down button. Hit that bell button. Join with Bell Squad to be notified when I upload yet another episode tomorrow. With a lot of interesting vehicles that I am dreaming about, but I do not have in my garage, in crazy action. Stay tuned for that. Take care and bye.